Pick me is one term I've seen floating around the internet for a good while now. People love to drop it like it's some kind of gotcha moment. The second a woman says something even slightly off from what some people consider the right opinion, bam, she gets called a pick me. It has become this lazy way to shut down conversations. Like, instead of actually talking about what someone said, people just slap a label on it and walk away feeling superior in the name of feminism, which isn't even feminism to begin with. It has become a weird purity test of some sort at this point. Okay, so let's talk about what a pick me really is because the idea itself is kind of interesting. At its core, it's about a woman who puts other women down to get male attention. She is essentially saying, I'm not like these other girls, because she wants guys to notice her and, well, pick her. This type of woman typically builds her whole existence and personality around what she thinks men want at a particular point in time. But it gets tricky because you can't just read someone's mind and decide what they are doing. You have to look at patterns, what they consistently say, who they are saying it to, whether they are constantly training other women under the boss to lift themselves up, and things like that. Otherwise, it's just another way to tear women down, which is kind of ironic. And to distinguish between an actual pick-me and a woman simply holding an independent thought, consider these observable markers. A pick-me typically exhibits patterns like consistently putting women down to elevate herself, making sweeping negative generalizations about women as a group, echoing stereotypes about women being dramatic, catty, or complicated, changing her stated beliefs dramatically based on male presence, and seeking validation through explicit opposition to her own gender, even when it is very unnecessary. Meanwhile, a woman with an independent thought simply holds opinion formed through her own reasoning and experience, which you can see very vividly. She maintains consistent views across different company. She doesn't define herself by who she's trying to impress. And lastly, she respects other women's right to think differently without mockery. The term applies to observable behavior patterns, not to a woman holding an independent thought that happens to differ from popular feminist opinion. Without clear evidence in speech and actions, the label is just a projection. Now, to those who have turned this term into a cudgel, you're not protecting feminism, you're shrinking it, just so you know. When you call a woman a pick-me for advocating due process, for finding humor in something unwoke, or for simply having male friends, you're enforcing a new orthodoxy demanding groupthink in the name of liberation. And the irony of it is that in rushing to accuse others of seeking male approval, you're desperately seeking approval from a niche online crowd, performing outrage to be picked as the most woke in the room. And with this, you're weakening the cause you claim to champion. And to those on the receiving end of this erroneous label, to those women brave enough to speak their minds and resist ideological boxing, keep going. Your voice is not betrayal, it is a necessity. A movement that cannot tolerate internal debate is a cult, not a revolution, and you should be proud of not being a part of such. The world at this moment setters on extreme ideologies and demands people who hold nuance, extend grace, and tell truth even when it is very uncomfortable. So you are not the villains. You remember equality isn't about swapping one intolerance for another. You understand strength lies in diverse thoughts and not monolithic agreement. So stand firm. Continue to speak your truth with kindness and conviction. And by refusing silence, you model a more mature and inclusive, powerful way forward. In a world of digital echo chamber, you are the real heroes.